And normally, I learn a lot. I used to hear things that my council are not doing that.
Why, as a leader,
As a leader,
you take responsibility.
I will take the responsibility.
Thank you very much. And again, that's why this brings us back to the earlier position that you held. So when we talk about authority for expenditure, the idea that a mayor or a mayoress or a chairperson, that they don't have power for expenditure, the law says something different to that. The law says go ahead. 3 people. I will refer to council as people.
Council.
I will refer to, but I am saying 3, that is the CEO, the mayor, mayoress, or chairman, as the case may be. Mayoress, chairman. Because some areas have chairman, like Brikama.
Area council chairman, so
and council as a general body.
Council as a general body.
All of them have authority, should have authority for expenditure. Now, the CEO reports to you.
Report.
Now, you report back to council which you head.
Report back to council. The
CEO does not have the full or absolute power to decide how much money goes in or goes out.
CEO
above the CEO, there is the mayor or mayoress or chairman. And above the mayor or mayoress or chairman, you have the council.
The mayor, mayoress, or chairman, council.
Do we understand it that way?
Li council, hamga yow dafa melni loi bi nga ma wax.
I think council, you are just telling me exactly what the law says.
Te fokk na hejna loi bi tam mom lañ doon war di implement.
And I think the law have to be implemented.
Why council su de doxé nonu de?
But council, we don't operate like that.
Because the CEOs.
Because the CEOs.
Administration bi tamit dañ am ñoo xamne ñoo nekk ci seen gannaaw.
And the administration too, they have people behind them.
Man duma tok fi di la fenal.
I will not sit here and tell you lies.
Parce que fi ken joge wu fi dem ñu ray la.
And nobody left here and you are killed.
Why suma la ne mayor ci amuñ doole.
But if I say the mayors don't have powers.
Nangul ma ko rek.
Please brief me.
And why is that? I don't.
Wax na la fi ne la. Da nga binda ministry.
You write to the ministry.
They complain dara.
Just complaining for something.
Ñu wax la carrément bu ñu bindaat.
And they will tell you directly, don't ever write to us.
It's only the CEO who have authority pour binda ñu.
It's only the CEO who have the authority to write to us.
So there are a lot of frustration yoo xam ne moo nekk ci biir council bi.
There are a lot of frustration in council.
So amee CEO boo xam ne amul xel.
If you have a CEO who don't have mind,
dina la relegate to 0.
He will relegate it 0 to you.
And lii mooy dëgg bi.
And this is the truth.
moo tax ma bëgg a appreciate ku ñëw fii.
This is why I appreciate, or I want to appreciate whoever come here.
waxal sa diggante ak yàlla rek pour ñu mun a jagar council si mu baax.
You explain the truth between yourself and God so that we can be able to maintenance the council to good standard.
waaye su dee dëgg rek moo am.
But if at all the truth is the one that is prevailing.
Mayor si fii amul doole.
The mayors here
at least Banjul City Council. Let me say this very clear.
Let me be specific. Is Banjul City Council mayors here have no powers.
Yeah, so I understand the frustration that council will have generally.
Then I yegna frustration bi nga amne council def ko de am wala de am nañ ko generally.
With ministry.
Ministry.
We have dealt with this in the beginning. The permanent secretary was here.
Nena li don dohal nañ ko fi bu njëkk bi permanent secretary bi mu ngon fi.
We have told the permanent secretary where they have fault.
Nena kero yegal lañ dañ ko yegal fault ñoom seen fault fal na la bay sukandiku.
In fact, so many.
Te bari na.
So we agree with you.
Nena nangu nañ te ànd nañ ko sa kàddu li nga wax.
To a large extent.
Am na liñ ko toppa nañ la dégg nañ la.
Based on subject matter.
Ci loo xam ne loolu lañ nekk di discuss mooy subject matter bi.
And that is the more reason why it is important, like you said.
Nena lii moo gën a am fayda comme yow sa boppa ni ko waxee.
To see wherever fault lies.
Nena fépp nga xam ne fault am na fa.
We will find out.
ñoom ñu dal di ko seet.
And hopefully.
ante gom naa ni.
The commissioners will make recommendations.
The commissioners nañ def recommendation.
And that is why we thank you that's why we thank you.
Nena lii moo tax ñu dal di la jërëm.
For your honesty.
Ti li nga xam ne jub bi nga xam ne jub nga ko yaa ngi wax lu am.
And your time and interest in this.
Time ak interest bi nga xam ne am nga ko.
So that we also help each other to know the subject matter we are talking about.
Nena ñun li moo tax ñu dal di try pour mën a xam subject wala loolu li nga xam ne loolu lañ nekk di wax.
Because when it comes to finance.
Nena because soo demee si biir finance mooy xaalis.
You have technically absolute control over your finance.
Nena am nga technical absolute control loolu mooy yow sa boppa si finance bi nga xam ne boobu ngeen amee.
Council decide how their finances are disbursed.
Nena council ñoom day waxtaan ñu dal di tëral yoon wi nga xam ne seen finance noonu lañ ko war a dépenser.
And this of course will be in line with regulations.
Nena te lii foog na ne wala dafa war sax mu dal di ànd ak luwaay nga xam ne yooyu lañ tëral.
But your contracts, who you pay, how you pay them, the only person that you have to be answerable to is the regulations that are governing you.
Nena ak yoo xam ne contrat si nga xam ne dañ ko ndee fay léeg-léeg ngeen fay ko nena waaye loolu lu la war a jàppale si loolu wala li nga war a toppa mooy luwaay nga xam ne yooyu mu la wër.
Do you understand?
Nena leer na.
Okay.
Very well.
Exactly. So that the ministry cannot.
Nena ci kaw loolu da ngaa gis ne ministry duñ mën a.
To a large extent as well.
Nena duñ mën a def loo xam ne.
Dictate to you your daily expenditure.
Pour ñu yëgal la wala wax la yow di nga war a defee sa dépense wala di nga war a dépenser.
But of course you will be audited periodically.
Nena waaye da ngaa gis ne yow moom da war a di audit at jamono bu nekk.
Do we understand that?
Nena leer na.
Okay.
Yes.
So authority for expenditure only rests squarely on 3 tiers: the CEO, Mayoress or chairperson, and the council.
Nena wax na ko nena dépense bi soo seetee ñetti xeer yooyu nga xam ne yow lam lay wax CEO, Mayor wala Mayoress ak chairperson.
So what will be the difficulty in this?
Nena kon ban naxari wala difficulty ngeen war a am si lii.
waaye wax naa la ko ma ne la yow yaa ngi quote from loi bi.
No, as I said to you that you are quoting from the law.
waaye council dafa am beneen loi bu nekkut loi bi nga xam ne moom lañ binda teg ko si bopp bi.
But we have another law at council of which is written and is laid on top of the table.
te lead council suñ defee 1 million times commission.
And council, if we do commission for up to 1 million times.
te regularize suñ ku nekk sa doole ak sa fan nga war a
And they don't regularize the authorities or the powers for each where to start or where to stop.
dinañ amaat yeneen commission.
We'll have another commission.
And I wish the commission bi dafa demoon ñu backdate ko 5 years ago before ñun suñ time.
And I wish this commission should be backdated for 5 years before our time.
So kon dinañ doon appreciate council si léegi.
Then the commission itself will appreciate councils the way they are working.
A typical example yaa ngi wax ne mayor bi dafa war a xam everything loo xam ne moo dee dox.
For instance, the example is that you have said that the mayor must be aware of whatever is going on.
And again, I want to underline ne li ma wax fii yëpp maa ngi wax in the context of Banjul City Council.
And as I said, I am specific. Whatever I'm saying here, I'm just talking through the context of Banjul City Council.
Man gis naa fi ñaata witness, over 20 witness yoo xam ne toog nañ fii.
I saw people who passed here before me. There are witnesses, more than 20 of them.
Di wax about the EU project of Banjul City Council.
And they were explaining about the EU project at the Banjul City Council.
te maa ngi si City Council musuma koo xam musuma koo yëg musuma leen a gis xawma ci kenn fii laa leen gisee ñu toog.
And I am at the City Council. I don't know them. I have never met them. I only saw them sitting here before the commission.
All right. We will of course reach to the EU project.
Nena bu soobee Yàlla dañ fa jaar te dinañ fa àgga si EU project bi.
And again, we will know, we will try to find out We will try to find out
ne te nañ def seen gestu pour mun a xam
the level of knowledge that each of the players have.
nee na xam-xam bi nga xam ne wala yëg bi nga xam ne ku nekk ku bokk xam-xam bi nga xam si mbir mi.
But the issue regarding the problems of, like you said, I quote the law, which I only have to.
nee na waaye soo seetee comme wax nga fii ne moom lu mooy wax si loi bi la ko taane wala foofu la mu wane na waaw te moom dafa war pour def loolu.
And you were trying to tell the commission that there are problems that you face in relation to what actually obtains on the ground.
nee na te yow wax nga fii ne am nga teexte yi nga xam ne yu dee xew si ron.
So, for instance, when the Local Government Finance and Audit Act 2004, Section 12.
nee na soo ko seetee Local Government Act Section 12. 2004 Section 12.
Local Government Finance and Audit Act.
nee na Finance and Audit Act. 2004.
Section 12.
Section 12.
Which talks about financial autonomy of councils.
nee na loolu wax naa ne affaire financial autonomy of council mooy pour ngeen taxaw seen boppa si mbiri xaalis.
Which reads, subject to the provisions of this act.
nee na te lu mu jàng mooy loi boobu noonu bi nga xam ne teg nañ ko.
And any other act.
ak beneen loi bu bokka wala bu àndaa bi.
Each council has autonomy over its financial matters.
nee na council bu nekk am na taxaw na boppam pour mbir yi nga xam ne dépense wala xaalis bi nga xam ne boobu la day liggéey foofu.
Excluding salaries.
nee na bokkut salary bokkut. mooy fay bi boobu bokkut.
Allowances.
allowance bokkut.
And emoluments.
ak emoluments yooyu bokkuñ.
So apart from these three.
nee na ñetta yooyu yi nga xam ne bokkuñ.
Council, you can say, have absolute control.
nee na yooyu council mun na wax léegi moom am nañu warugal pour contrôle.
If you're paying a contractor $1 million,
nee na sooy fay contractor $1 million.
you just have to follow the procurement regulations.
nee na lu war mooy pour nga toppa procurement regulations.
And then you pay in the right manner.
te da nga war a fay mu waree.
You don't have to take any permission from ministry.
nee na warloo jël benn permission si ministry.
If you want to deal with a vendor.
nee na soo buggee am dealings ak vendor mooy jaaykat yi.
On a daily basis.
nee bés bu nekk.
You follow the procurement regulations.
nee na nga toppa procurement seen regulation.
You don't have to take any 1% or 0.5% permission from ministry.
nee na te foofa warloo am wala warloo am benn permission si ministry.
So have you ever had a problem? Have you ever had problem?
nee na ndaa yow sa boppa mus nga am problème.
In relation to, what I mean you is council.
nee na su dee yow mooy council seen area council bi.
In relation to expenditure.
nee na lu bokka wala lu ànda lu mel ni dépense.
Where it is not within the areas of salary or allowance or emoluments.
non na li nga xam ne bokkut ak ñetta yi mooy waa salary allowance wala emoluments.
Did ministry ever interfere with this, with your daily expenditure?
nee na ndax ministry mus nañ la interfere wala dugal seen loxo si dépense bi.
yëguma ko parce que man duma dee deal ak yooyu.
No, I'm not aware because I don't have any dealings with that.
Exactly. So that is why I said.
nee na lii moo tax moo ne.
This is squarely on the council itself.
nee na loolu dafa tegu si council si boppam.
Entirely.
nee na yëpp si council bi loxo council la nekk.
Do you agree with that?
nee na nangu nga loolu.
waaw.
Yes.
Now, this is particularly important.
nee na lii dafa nekk loo xam ne dafa am fayda lool.
Because so many payments have been made.
nee na am na fay yu nga xam ne bëri nañu fay ngeen ko def ngeen ko.
Which appears to not follow.
nee na te soo ko seetee yooyu àndut ak.
Not àndut. dafa mel ni àndut. Appears to have not followed.
nee na dafa mel ni àndut.
With due process.
ak yoon bi nga xam ne yoon bu tegu.
By due process, I mean the financial manual.
nee na soo ne due process mooy toppa financial manual.
The Finance and Audit Act.
Financial Audit Act.
And the list goes on.
te loolu muy toppante.
Now, what are the mechanisms that you have in council?
nee na kon yéen council ban mécaniques ngeen am yi nga xam ne yooyu ngeen tëddal foofu. mécanismes.
To monitor.
pour ngeen mën a seet ne monitor bi.
The accounts of council.
mooy seen compte bi mooy compte council.
The expenditure.
mooy dépense.
Of council.
council.
comme ni ma ko waxee woon rek man I rely entirely on the CEO.
As I said earlier on, I rely entirely on the CEO.
pour mu wax ma upgrade ma on council's accounts.
to upgrade me on council's account,
and to advise me the way forward.
and to advise me the way forward.
Would you know?
For example,
Please proceed. Please proceed.
For example, so need to know what's the sponsorship, for example, scholarship.
For example, if somebody appear to look for a scholarship, I will call him and inform him, and I gave him the paper,
and then he will advise me.
and there he will advise me.
So if the budget
If the budget is already there,
you proceed.
then we proceed.
Now, the CEO,
Nena legi CEO bi,
as we have discussed,
li nga xamne wax nañ biram,
is below the hierarchy. It's down at the hierarchy in relation to having powers for monetary threshold.
nena soko sété mom nek na lo xamne dafa neew doole pour mu na taxaw lu ñoy wa ci place bi nga xamne threshold woné.
Is it because council did not know that there should be a check and balance in relation to what the CEO approves or not?
Hana council wala xamuñ ne amna lo xamne wala dafa war pour ngeen wara check li nga xamne council bi moy balance li nga xamne CEO bi def ko tegal da nga ko wara set bu ba.
Going by the regulation for authority for expenditure.
Nena so topé loi bi nga xamne dafa teggu pour doole bi nga xamne bobu la joxe pour mbiri dépense.
Because it appears as if council did not know.
Nena because soko sété dafa melni council yeglel lolu
That there should be this regulation.
Nena why dafa war loi bi dafa wara teggu fofu.
To monitor expenditure.
Pour nga gis ne lolu mëna monitor expenditure bi.
Nekut ne xamuñ ko de.
It doesn't mean that we don't know about it.
Because wax na la ko mané la binda na du ben yon du ñaari yon memo.
As I told you that I wrote a memo more than twice.
Because this should come from council.
Nena because li si council la wara bayiko.
So number one, we will even apply that you produce the letters that you have written to the CEO.
Nena legi sa lu ñoy def fi moy mën nañ apply pour nga gis ne memo yoy nga bind ci CEO nga dal diko ici.
Can you do that?
Nana mba mën nga def lolu.
Please write it down.
Nena mën nga ko bind pour nga baña faté.
Thank you. So why I said that is because the same law that provides for the authority for expenditure, section 305 of the financial manual. Section 306 states. Same thing, monetary thresholds in emergency cases as well.
Monetary thresholds
that council should approve. The same with the authority for expenditure, council should approve. So not the chairman or the mayor or the mayoress. There should be a resolution. From council to say that CEO up to $100,000, you cannot go beyond this.
CEO after 100,000
after $100,000 you must seek for clearance, you must consult the mayoress as the case is in Banjul.
The
same resolution should also state that mayoress, you cannot approve payments beyond $500,000. If it exceeds this, you must bring it to council. So, if the council did not pass that resolution,
nena legi resolution go bi nga am fa tegu council suñ leen ko passu pour wol leen ko
it's two things. It's either council did not know,
nena ñaari affaire la ndax council bena bi nañ mun nañ wax ne council xamuñ
or they knew but failed to do that.
nena kon ñaaral bi moy xam nañ ko waye fail nañ pour def lolu
Do you understand?
nena lolu leer na ci yow
Munna remember being a time you know affair in a CEO worth to spend more than 500,000.
I can remember there was a time that it was said that the CEO cannot expend more than an amount of 500,000.
Why I can't remember any time when the decision
But I cannot remember any time that the decision was
taken in council.
a decision was taken in council
Pour one and am a ceiling.
to show that we need to have a ceiling.
Why Lena Tamid Momla Bugawafi?
But one thing I want to make it clear here,
So stated the spending of Banjul City Council.
if you check the expenditure of Banjul City Council,
Banjul City Council, the Faneka Council Bohamne financial muscle sami.
but Banjul City Council is a council which you know that the financial muscles.
Edna Society within 8 years.
If you check about 8 years ago,
Within 8 years.
if you check about 8 years, within 8 years,
Lunyo spend 500,000.
what you spend, the amount you spend for 500,000
Above 500,000.
or above 500,000,
Benda yon one off. 500,000.
it's only one time of.
No. Bunyo spend a one of 500,000.
Or when we spend the 500,000,
So ko set lo the 8 years you mafaneka.
and if you check the 8 years while I was serving,
So bare bari do pass 5, 6, 7 times.
if at all, if you count it, it will be less than 6 to 7 times.
Because council bundawla
Because it's a small council,
hali sam tolwood nuno.
and the monies or the finance is not very much.
Hejna mom fum dore di ame spending bu bari.
Because where we started doing much expenditure,
Moy si EU project.
that is when we get into the EU project.
Why pour mu gene 500,000 legi jënd dara.
But to pull out 500,000 to say we are going to buy something,
Munuma ko remember lu passé juromi yon ba jurom ben yon.
I cannot remember that more than 5 to 6 times.
You mean individuals isolated cases of expenditure or the yearly expenditure?
Then allow me come yenen sen dépense bi wala at bi yépp.
Suñ lan
Néna lu mo laajte di dépense boobu nga wax 500,000 bi néna dafa nekk loo xam ne da ngeen ko dépense pour at bi yépp la wala?
non pour comme ben yon one off ñu jënd dara.
No, it's just once occasion, just for instance to buy something.
Let's say for instance you want to purchase furniture.
Néna dafa mel ni léegi dañ jël examples comme nga bëgg a jënd ay bagages néeg.
Yes, but what would be very ideal in this circumstance is the overall expenditure in the given year. Is the overall expenditure in a given year.
Néna léegi mu seet na loolu dafa nekk loo xam ne dépense bi nga xam ne yépp pour at bi la.
Waaw lu nga wax dëgg la dama la bëgg a won rek ne la.
Yes, because what I said is true.
Yaa ngi wane xëj na council si xamuñ.
As you said, that might be council, we are not aware.
So xëj na soo toogee gis ne defuñu xëj na silin ne si yow na su spendé 500,000 da ko wax council.
As I said, because there are nothing like a ceiling of which if the CEO is to spend more than 500,000, you need to inform council.
Xëj na loolu dafa ñëw benn yoon o ñaari yoon si at bi.
I know maybe that comes once or twice in the year.
No, that will only be an example.
Nena lolu mun na nek example.
You can even say that $50,000 is it has to be cleared by the mayors.
Nena mun ga wane comme for instance 50,000 bo wane ko clear ci mayor.
Even $10,000 is.
Su nekké 10,000 sa.
Depending on what the council decides. You know your budget, you know your income at the end of the year, realistic you know how much money you generate, so you can decide based on that.
Nena lolu mun na nek sa xalaat parce que yow sa bopa ya xam ñaata nga denca wala lo am ci xaliss ñaata nga jeni ci xaliss wala lu ñaata fa neka.
So I was just giving an example.
Nena lolu mom just example la rek.
Of the idea that you should have the threshold.
Nena pour wone ne yow dafa war pour nga am threshold.
Now back to my question.
Nena so dele ci laajte bi.
Did council know about this authority for expenditure?
Nena nda council yeg nañ authority bi pour mbiri dépense loi bu tegu.
Or that they do not know?
Wala ñaaral bi nda yegulen ko. xamulen ko.
Councillors dinañ ko xam because we have seasoned councillors yoo xam ne ñu ngi fa woon balaa council bi sax.
Council are aware, and I see that there are councils who were there before these people.
So the lack of, in the absence of issuing a person a resolution for the adherence to the authority for expenditure, would that be deliberate then?
Then kon pour nga gis ne jox leen resolution bi nga xam ne wala jox leen ko ko xam ne kooku moo war pour def dépense mu ñaaka ko kon loolu dafa mel ni du def leen seen warugal wala seen yoon.
How ma lan moo nekk seen mind si at that time.
I don't know what was in their mind at that time.
waaye wax naa leen ne man si suma boppa jëloon naa jéego.
But as I said, as myself, I have taken action.
Ma binda.
Wrote.
te du benn yoon du ñaari yoon.
And it's not one, not twice.
waaye workut.
But it doesn't work.
But on your side, yes. But on council's side, it can only be deliberate because you've already told us that they knew that they had this authority to put the ceiling. They never put the ceiling. It's a failure on council's side.
And I see how sa boba wow de gala lolu mom def nga sawargal. Nena wa société pour council dem nañ ko yow sa boba wax nga ne yegg nañ ko te defuñ ko. Nena ko lolu dafa nek lo xamne dafa manché lool ci liggéey bi.
Wa buñ téla wax ne jëliñ ko mun na am tamit mun na mus dañ ko wax ma faté.
If I say that, probably they have ever told me and I forgot.
So you said you demand back to minutes, right?
No, we have to go back to the minutes.
So, the issue is, if they ever pass a resolution like that, we have interviewed the CEO, we don't even see a council generally that would adhere to this regulation.
Nena so fekk na resolution dañ ko pass nena wax nañ fi ak CEO bi nena way dara wone te council yi sa am na ñoo xamne sa definitely resolution bi dañ ko tegu ci kaw seen kanam.
Some have it as a matter of practice.
Nena am na ñoo xamne dañ ko am as a matter of practice.
Like for instance in KMC.
Nena way so ko sété KMC.
Some will say that if we need to make a payment up to $100,000.
Am na ñoo xamne dañ jé wax ne suñu bëggé def fay bu dem be $100,000.
You must consult the Lord Mayor Talib Ahmed Bensouda.
Nena fokk ñu consult Lord Mayor Bensouda.
One or two will say it is $200,000.
Am na ñoo xamne dañoo wax ne $200,000.
Some will give you a different figure.
Am na ñoo xamne tamit dañ lay di jox njëg bi nga xamne bokut.
They don't have a resolution.
Nena amuñu resolution.
At least we haven't seen it.
Because gisuñu ko.
They didn't produce it.
Nena musuñu ko wone fi.
But at least they will tend to have that practice in council.
Nena way ñooñu nañ wone ne am nañ practice bobu ci council.
Again, my opinion is
Nena ñaaral bi ci xalaatam mi moy
it will even be wrong for them, KMC,
nena da nga gis ne KMC loolu sax dafa nekk yoon boo xam ne jubut
to even have the practice
pour practice bi
and not have the resolution to
te
point.
amuñu resolution bi.
But I'm just saying that is how, like you were saying, sometimes the actual operations of council is different from what the law says.
Nena te loolu soo ko seetee mu ngi la bantuwaat comme yow wax nga ko fii ne am na doxal bi nga xam ne da ngeen ko dee doxal dafa àndut ak resolution si.
And we want to know why.
Nena te dañ bëgg a xam lan la mën a tax loolu.
And you've helped us to say.
Nena te yow da nga ñu jàppale nga dal ñu leeral ne.
That you've helped us. You helped the commission to state.
Nena da nga ñu jàppale commission bi ñu dal di state ne.
That for instance, BCC you don't have that.
Nena BCC wax nga ne yéen xam leen ko.
And then the general council is very, to be honest, it is very let me say acute with experienced councillors, so they must be in the position to know.
Nena te general council am na ñoo xam ne ñoom am nañ xam-xam lu mel ni loolu te ñoom tamit am nañ dañu war pour xam ko.
That's why I said if they didn't do it, then it's deliberate.
Nena lii moo tax mu ne su fekkee ne defuñu ko wala defuñu ko kon dafa mel ni dañu ko tey.
Do you understand?
Nena nangu nga loolu.
Wow. And
yes.
Lead council foog naa bëgg naa pour nga understand leen tamit.
And lead council, I want you to understand one thing.
Banjul City Council is very, very different from other councils.
Banjul City Council is very, very different from other councils.
ñun bu ñoo ñëw ci council bi.
When we came or we are coming to council.
benn page of handing over sax loo xam ne moo ñoo direct amuñ ko.
We don't even have a single page of handing over.
And most of us were new.
And most of us, we were new.
So luñ starté yëpp di ko doon def.
All what we started doing.
mun nga xëy na soo ko seetee 90% of liñ doon def yëpp xëy na dafa wrong.
And if you check, probably all the 90% of what we have done was wrong.
liñ doon demee rek mooy.
Because the way we were moving or doing things were,
nii la ko ñii doon defee nii la ko ñii doon defee.
as okay, these people were doing it like this, so let us follow him. Or that is how they were doing it. That is how we were doing.
loolu moom dëgg la mu fa woon.
That is true. That was happening there.
so xëj na loolu yëpp moo indi tamit.
And I think all that is the cause of.
because we are more into nii lañ ko doon defee than even luwa bi lu wax.
As I said, we follow the people who were saying, oh, we do as they were doing it like that, differently from what the law says.
because so bëggee dem too much si luwa bi tam.
Because if you want to follow the law too much,
di nga am blockage feneen.
you will have a blockage somewhere around.
No, you will not have a blockage.
No, don't have blockage.
The law will give you, if you follow it.
Then the law is so called.
It's not perfect.
Then the perfect.
It's not perfect.
It's not perfect.
In fact, it has so many areas that need to be reviewed and amended.
Even
perhaps to help you in administration on a daily basis. But it's more perfect than not having or following regulations. No, it's better than not having or not following the structure, not following the law. No.
Understand na li nga wax.
Yes.
Very well.
Yes. So.
Yes, I still understood very well what you are trying to say, but now I still want you to understand that I am the one sitting on that position. And I took out here, I don't want to sit here and now I'll be very shameful to do that, and later on trying to make, I'll be very ashamed to do that here. But I heard a lot. You know, truly speaking, I was not even aware of that. But as I said, what you learn as a leader, some of things you need to know. If you agree and you need to make it clear,
for the interest of for
the interest of the person coming tomorrow.
For the interest of accountability and transparency.
And that is accountability and transparency.
So position.
If you don't sit at my position, what I'm saying you will not understand. What I want to tell you is that
the system is polluted.
The system is polluted.
Why so I'm not
talking about other councils. I am specifically on my own council. You will not know. A lot of things happened. But later I think all those things will be revealed.
Understand.
That is where you should understand. Or you will understand what I know and what I don't.
Why didn't I respect this commission?
But I want to assure you that the respect that I have for this commission
appreciate commission
and the appreciation that I have for this commission,
because commission it
seems the commission came specifically for me to make my legacy. I will have nothing to say that I will hide. No.
Again,
anything, however difficult it is, I will tell you this is how it happened. Because I had a lot hearing, and I know that does not help the commission.
Again, thank you very much. Again, this is the intention of the commission. You are very right. It's not easy to be a leader. It's more or less to be the leader of a whole jurisdiction, of a whole area council or city council.
City council or area council.
It's very, very difficult. And so we know, even if we're not there, we understand how difficult it is. And more so, to answer to the public regarding how the administration of the area council was done. To even willingly come,
participated.
to help give information.
pour nga jàppale ñu am information.
It's also commendable no matter how difficult it
nee na
is.
loolu tamit nekk na loo xam ne dañ la gërëm nu mu mënta naxari na.
It is noted.
nee na yëg nañ ko.
So back to the issue,
nee na suñ teelee si mbir bi.
what I was discussing with you
nee na loolu nekkoon di waxtaan ak yow mooy.
is that there are so many payments
nee na am na fay yu bëri.
that councils will engage on.
yi nga xam ne council war na engage si fay yooyu.
In this case, BCC,
nee na si BCC.
that will appear to not be in line
nee na société àndut ak mbir bi.
with regulation.
ak luwaay.
Now, we had talked about the financial manual,
nee na wax nañ fi affaire financial manual.
the Finance and Audit Act,
Financial Audit Act.
Finance and Audit Act for local government area councils,
For local government area councils.
the Local Government Act,
The Local Government Act.
procurement regulations.
Procurement regulations.
Does council follow all this
Nee na council mbaa daf dee toppal waaye yëpp lu mu la lebal nii.
in deciding which dalasi goes to where or how the monies of council are spent?
Nee na si mbir nga xam ne mooy xaalis koppar bi ngeen am ne council naka ngeen koy dépensé.
loolu nekkul suma liggéey.
That is not my job.
Administration ñoo de def loolu.
The administration used to do that.
waaye dama rafet njort ne.
But I think so for them too.
ñu ngi ko doon def nuñ ko
They
war
were
ni mu correcté.
They were doing accordingly.
parce que
Correct.
léegi-léegi ma gis ay kayit yoo xam ne.
Because sometimes I do see some documents.
ñu ne GPPA la jógee.
They said those documents are from the GPPA.
su nit ñëwee for exemple bugga dara like for exemple gaamo am.
When somebody came and needed something, for instance, a gamo happened,
mbaa cooj bi xewle dara.
or church we need something.
suñ ñëwee ma minute ko.
When they came, I minute that.
dama ko minute mu dem si CEO bi.
I minute it, and after it passes to the CEO.
waaye pour man.
For me,
because all those line of expenditure boobu noonu.
all those lines of expenditure,
they are all budgeted for.
they are all budgeted for.
because am nañ religious budget.
Because we have religious budget,
am nañ culture.
we have culture,
etc. and so forth.
etc. and so forth.
so su scholarship amee.
So when it happens, scholarship had,
ma minute ko jox ko.
I minute and give it to him.
pour man foofu la ko jëlee si budget boobu noonu.
Well, for me, I thinking that he will get it from the said budget.
so foog naa ne tamit ne procedures yi they were going on.
And I thought that all the procedures were going on
rightly.
rightly.
The Lord Mayoress, it is your job.
Nena lolu sa liggéey la.
It is job of council.
Nena sa liggéey council la.
In fact, the law makes it your job and the job of council.
Nena lolu loi bi daf ko nga nekk mu nekk sa liggéey ak liggéey council.
In fact, the CEO is answerable to council.
Nena CEO yow da nga war a answerable si council.
Let me read to you
Nena mu jàngal la benn
administrative structure of council.
Administrative structure
of council, the Local Government Act.
Council, Local Government Act.
It says the chief executive, section 42 sub 1.
Nena lu ma fi mooy chief executive, subsection 1.
42 sub 1.
42 sub 1.
There shall be a chief executive for each council whose office shall be an office in local government service and shall, subject to the provisions of this act, be subject to terms and conditions which may be prescribed. 2, a chief executive shall be appointed by a local government service commission after consultation with the chairperson, who may attend all proceedings and deliberations of the commission when considering the appointment of a chief executive. 3, the applications for the office of the chief executive shall be submitted to council for its prior comments, and you have functions of the chief executive. 43 sub 1, the chief executive shall manage the affairs of the council and shall be answerable to the council and be subject to its direction and control. Sub 2 says, a chief executive shall, in the exercise of his or her functions, report to the chairperson. Do you see this?
Wow.
Yes. So it is the responsibility of
Yes.
council and the responsibility of the chairperson, as the case may be, the mayor, as the case may be, or the mayor, as the case may be.
Nena li sa responsible la council, mayoress, mayor, chairperson.
The chief executive is not working in isolation.
Nena CEO bi nekko di liggéey moom nena wala moom kenn.
He is not the most powerful in council.
Nena te nekkut ne moo gën a am doole si council.
Council is the most powerful then the mayor or mayoress, then the chief executive.
Then council moko jina am dole, mayor moko jina am dole, then nga am CEO.
Do you understand that?
Then learn.
I totally agree.
I totally agree.
Exactly.
Why foog naa di nga nangu tamit ne
But I think you too will agree that
council every month benn yoon la dee talk, for example.
council every month we used to have sittings once.
The CEO ak mayor bi bokkuñ yoon.
The CEO and the mayor, they are not of the same way.
Even though loi bi wax na ne dafa war a answerable to mayor bi.
Then, as the law said, he is answerable to the mayor.
Why going back si li ma la waxoon ci njëlbeen.
But going back to what I have told the commission before,
lim ma wax rek laa mën a xam.
whatever he told me is what I am aware.
Lum ma waxut mënuma koo xam.
Whatever he don't inform me, I cannot be able
The
to.
structure of council ni mu demee.
And the structure of council,
luñ bëgg ma xam laay xam luñ bëggul ma xam mënuma mus wa ka waane ba xam ko.
whatever they want me to know, I will know. But if something that they don't want to know, me to know, I will never know.
No, let me assist you in that.
Nena mujapala silolo.
If you have the right structures,
Nena so fekere de ngenu bind structures.
there is no way
Nena amut ben yon.
that anything will happen
Lo xamne xayona fofu.
in your backyard
Ci sa biir mbir mi.
without you knowing.
Te yow yeguloo ko.
It's like a family.
Nena dafa melni family.
It's like the father and the mother.
Nena dafa melni baay ak yaay.
You have to know.
War nga xam.
You must know.
Te yow da nga war pour xam.
Maybe not 100%.
Nena mën na nekk 100%.
That is why you will be aided by other institutions like National Audit.
Nena li mota dañ la wara di jappalé di aider lo xamné dafa nekk yeneen institution lu melni audit.
You will be helped by internal audit.
Nena internal audit dañ lay jappalé.
You will be assisted by procurement.
Nena assist procurement tamit dañ lay jappalé.
These are independent institutions within or outside the area councils.
Nena li nekk na ay institution yi nga xam ne ñu ngi taxaw seen boppa wala daa ñu ngi si biir area council wala ñu ngi si biti.
That will help council.
Nana loolu dina jàppale council.
Any council.
Council bu nekk.
The CEO wants to hold information, wants to not transmit certain information.
Nena CEO su fekkee ne bëggut laa jox wala bëggut laa yëgal lu xew.
At the end of the year,
Nena su at bi jeexee.
every quarter,
Nena quota bu nekk.
there should be reporting mechanisms.
Nena da nga gis ne am na ay xibaar ay reporting mechanism yi.
You have committees of council.
Am nga committees council committees.
If they are effective,
Nena su fekkee ne ñoom dañu nekk council bu effective.
you will at least have 75% of information you need to have.
Da nga gis ne xibaar yu bëri yi nga xam ne da nga ko soxla pour am ko wala yegg ko da nga ko jot.
Do you understand?
Nena dégg nga loolu.
Lead council.
Yes, lead council.
Wallaay ni nga ko waxee dafa yomb torop.
As you said, as you are saying, it is very simple.
And trust me, that's how it's supposed to be there.
Te ni nga ko waxee noonu.
And as you said,
noonu la war a nekkee.
that is how it should.
waaye xam nga yow yaa ngi ko waxee ci biir buggi luwaa.
But as far as you are changing it too from the law,
so nga fàttaliku ne.
and you remember that
CEO bi ak ay ngoñam.
CEO have his inside,
xam nañ si seen bopp bi ne.
and they know very well that.
ne mayor bi yóbbuwut leen fa.
And the mayor does not bring them there.
xam nañ ne mayor bi mënul leen a daaxa.
And they know that the mayor cannot be able to
xam nañ ne mayor bi
dismiss
mënul
them.
leen a suspend.
And they know that I cannot suspend them.
xam nañ ne mayor bi mënul leen a wax ne seen bët baa ngi xonxa.
And the mayor cannot tell them that your eyes are red.
so yaa ngi try pour waxal ma luwaa.
So I know you are trying to tell me about the law.
man tam maa ngi try pour wax la li ma dunda.
And I'm too trying to tell you how I survive.
te foog ñëwuñ si ñu tasee.
Unless we come, we all met,
council si du musa baax.
councils will never be good.
All right.
man dama dee tukki ak suma colleagues yi.
I used to travel with my colleagues,
dama leen dee ñëwee.
but I used to.
because ñooñu ñoo dee indi seen CEOs.
It's time for break. Let me just respectfully cut you short, Chairperson. It's time for break. I've been informed by the registrar. It is time. When we are back, the chair will ask that you proceed.
Yes, we normally have a 30-minute recess. We will come back after 30 minutes. We may rise.
mun naa bàyyi lii fi.